45 science machines are up for ante, and Team Steelaxe. They are sucking down the science pretty good. They are not the high points earners at the moment. Moar Faster is up near 40, just broke 40,000. Steelaxe is consuming too much science to get into there. They're still at 30,000.
Steelaxe will be playing a long game because I think they're pretty close to oil.
Oh, yep. Look at here. Narf just went up there to drop all their pump jacks on the oil. They're about to start.
Oh, there we go.
Stockpiling. That's right.
As soon as those things get powered up, you're going to see that score fly. Even raw crude is worth a lot.
Right. Great. Yeah. It's worth a ton of points, and it's worth a ton of points per. And there's a lot of it. Like you can have easily hundreds of thousands of oil units, and you get points for all of that. Looks like Narf is having some decision point about where to connect everything. He's almost locked himself in. Looks like he hasn't put down. There's 2 more pump jacks he needs. Looks like maybe might be running out of steel. He's piping everything up. Yep, looks like oil's going.
I'm just anticipating the plug-in. There it comes. So we're at 33,500, 200, 700, 600. The bounce.
Yep.
Every time you consume an item to craft something or do research, the point score is deducted of what its equivalent value was.
And here it goes.
32, 33, 34.
Yep, there it is.
35.
30. And they're pumping it to nowhere.
Yeah, this is just what's filling up the pipes.
Just filling up the pipe has jumped them up 5,000 a minute.
Having said that, Moar Faster has still got the higher points per minute. There we go, 1 million points. Steelaxe is first to 1 million.
First one to cross 1 million. Oh, man. All right. Okay, let's go look at the supporters. Team supporters, they've got green science should be off the line in about 20 seconds. To looks like a more formal science build than their looks like their unit startup science build with looks like they're moving from level 1 assemblers to level 2. Should speed it up. Buffering boards here looks like it's a good idea. I think these green boards are going to be too small to keep up with their eventual demand. They're going to need to really get on another iron and copper lines.
Yeah, it's enough to sort of kick it over slowly, but it's not enough to really match the sort of 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour in gameplay.
Okay, Moar Faster has an ammo building crude setup down here. That might be for points. It might just be for defense later on. It's a good idea. Said all the mining can't hurt, but they're using the burner inserters. Maybe they have something to do. Just needed something to do with them. Looks like they have 2 lines of steel planned over here to the left side. Will setting that up. Will an exterminator.
Turning the iron ore into ammo just like that, no, not a bad idea. It's worth a few points, and it gives your burner and mining drill something to do.
Yep, agree. May as well. All right, looks like Will and Moar Faster have a more formal science setup. I would expect this to double out and have more inserters and more science lines here in a minute, so I could get moving on it. Although they are going to be green science limited, they will not be science machine limited. But that being said, there's some still left on the belt, so they will probably add 1 or 2 more lines before it's over. Lines of... It is 9. I was thinking that's not lines of 10. That's a line of 9. Interesting. That tree got in Phoenix's way. You cut those down, bro.
Everyone's wondering what I've been wondering for the last 10 minutes. What on earth is Moar Faster doing with all that steel? Their steel smelting is enormous.
It is, and they've got more going down. Well, I mean, for a rocket, you do need 2 lines of steel, right? For a rocket speed, you need at least 2 lines of steel. That's the one. That's what we did for ours, and ours barely made the 4-hour mark. I mean, we had 4:18, and we essentially had this, which was 2 lines of this steel, and that looks like a 24 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's a line of 24 steel. So having 2 of them down is actually end game steel. You do need steel before you put down the steel line, because the steel line is most of the end game ones hinge on the fact that you have the better power poles, all of which are made with steel. So there's a little bit of a double-edged sword.
That's right.
Chicken before the egg. You kind of need to have steel before you put down a formal steel line.
That's actually a very good example of the risk you take with blueprints. Because you put this down in early game, and it instantly has something that you can't use.
Right.
As far as the PvP goes, Shred Guy, I think, is the most likely to go on full offensive.
I gotta agree. Shred Guy and his supporters, if you are a fan of Shred Guys, you will see them routinely beat the crap out of each other with tanks and flamethrowers and run each over with cars. Those guys are savages, all about killing each other. And earlier this week, I did spend some time in Shred Guy's chat, and he is a fan of tanks, and so he does play aggressively, and I think he's looking forward to come out and put the hurt on some of these guys.
I've just been watching Nerf over at Steelaxe build their oil refineries.
Looks like Shrednation, or no, looks like the supporters have their first steel line coming up. They do have they have the wooden poles. It's more of a spaced out build, but it can still work. All right. Oh, Steelaxe just took a big jump in points. They're up to 50,000. It's got to be oil.
That'll be the oil refineries turning on.
Yep, look at there. Okay, they routed their oil up. Yes, it is. You're correct. They have 8 refineries down. The pipes are full. And so you're right, they must be turning on their oil refineries. So you guys see what happens when you finally do get oil. Oil is worth big money, mostly because it's very complex. Narf having a bear of a time with those rocks and trees.
Well, at least he gets his stone. So Anti is working on what I think is red circuits right now.
Yes, that's his red circuit line.
The green circuit line to feed it is already stockpiling circuits.
Yep, right there.
Bilka, Phoenix, and Aceto are also building the smelting for the more of the red circuits.
Mm-hmm. See, look at his line. So you contrast this with what's going on in supporters. Anti and his team, they are building lines of 12, lines of 12 on each side, 12 per side smelting lines. This one is a line of 20. So these are not big lines of 24. If you contrast those smelting lines, very short bunch of them, contrast that with what you're seeing down in the supporters, these long lines of 20. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Long lines of 24, and going to a general bus type system. That's the so I think all the speedrunners start off with some sort of bus, and then they start peeling bits off of it. I know we did. We started going, okay, we're just going to make a smaller line and go direct to this one build and feed it exactly what it needs. This power line is very interesting. I haven't seen power done like this. I would have thought they would. Maybe it's built for expansion south. But one nozzle can support 20 boilers and 40 steam engines. I'm wondering why we don't, instead of adding this, they just add one line all the way down. I see it going up here on the left. Interesting little power bit. They may hit the same thing that that Will's team did and run themselves out on power. Looks like their 2.6 million southern coal deposit is only partially mined. They need to pay attention to that before getting themselves into a brownout, because if they add too much more power, this is going to dry up real quick.
The supporters are radaring their corners as well now. With what is that? 3 minutes 38 seconds to go on the no rush.
Yep, that's always good. You do need to do that. I guess they're using the remaining wooden poles. They're not using the big steel ones, I guess.
Looks like supporters, Moar Faster, and Steelaxe are all anticipating the end of the no rush. Oh, Shrednation's got oil going. Their first pump jack's gone down. Spinner there?
Yep. Spinner is putting those down. That's good.
Let's say he's handcrafting those.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Looks like he's running around waiting for it. Run some pipes while you're waiting. Okay, engines are off the line for Shrednation. Shred guy's throwing down engines. He does like engines because they feed into not only science, but need those for tanks, absolutely.
It's interesting, their approach to steel is different to every other team's. Whereas every other team does direct from iron ore into steel plates, these guys have plate output onto a bus on belts and then into the steel smelters. Yeah,
look, their main iron bus, they pull plates off of that and recycle them into and put steel back on the bus in the center. These guys are one of the first team. I mean, surprisingly, Shrednation is in second place right now. Good points per minute, and running a main bus strategy. This is rare, right? Usually the ones who take the time to do main bus don't usually last. I mean, if you contrast that with Anti-Elite and those builds, those smelting lines are dedicated for assembly. There is no bus anymore, right? In his build.
Shrednation has military science more or less up and running. They're not producing the turrets yet. Turrets are not connected to iron plate. But other than that, they've got the ammo and the grenades.
Yep, looks like they have the piercing rounds. They've got their grenades off the line. They're not storing grenades. I think they do. They need a chest down there with a filter inserter to start storing some grenades.
It would certainly help them with the points.
Yeah. Oh, Shred guy might be coming down there to correct that. Oh, ran right past
53 seconds. I can see a person just standing patiently by the edge at Moar Faster and its supporters, perhaps. Oh, he's just mining some trees.
Yep, Phoenix is waiting. I don't know what he's going for out there. He's chopping down some trees.
I think
I don't see what he sees. Unless it's it must be that stone, I guess. 1.8 million stone southwest of Moar Faster.
It might be what they're heading for.
Yep. Makes sense. And it's also we'll see. Got 16 seconds. Let's hold here and watch.
Steelaxe is now timing their arrival at the fence perfectly with the no rush ending. Now this is where I hold my breath and hope that I actually did set it to 60 minutes.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is. The no rush period has ended right here behind where I'm sitting. Actually, I'm going to move myself over so we can see some messages. I'll move myself over to this other side.
You can actually see on Steelaxe, he's got the poles ready to go straight out to that stone patch.
Look at there. Look at that timing.
You can actually see the boundary to where the chunks are copied.
Yep. And there he goes. Here comes the miners. Miners are immediately going down. Yeah, and look, he's got a belt that's run all the way from the edge all the way up into his base. There is another patch down south of Steelaxe for 131K. They won't be able to get I may be able to get some more. I don't see another one other than the 1.3 million north of them, but they've got a biter to deal with.
I wonder where Steelaxe is going. It went out and now it's going down.
Who's that? Steelaxe?
Moar Faster, sorry.
No. More faster. Oh, look, he's past the steel. Where's he going? Turn around, bro. What you want is behind you.
Hello, there's a... It's beeline for the iron ore.
I don't think you need it. You got a 1.4 tapped right next door, a 2.0, and then 105K in the middle, and then down south there's another 650. Swing her around. Go get that stone, buddy. Let's look over at Shrednation. Shrednation has not jumped out and gone to get anything. They need to. If they're going to get into purple science, they're going to need a lot more stone, and they do not have any stone scouted. There's a 13K patch and a 10K patch that will barely get you some stone furnaces. Yeah, and until they get that stone patch, they're going to be stuck with stone furnaces. They won't even be able to get up to steel furnaces. Whereas here, the Team Steelaxe is going to. They want to get out of. They've got a few of them made, but look, it looks like they've stopped the rest of their steel furnaces conversion because they are waiting on those bricks. And here comes Phoenix with a fresh batch of stone. If he can get through all these stupid trees, cursing the trees every bit of the way. Go
I'm
underground.
just trying to figure out if Steelaxe will actually upgrade. The impression I got was that they never really upgrade their smelting. Once it goes down, that's it.
Right.
I wonder what Moar Faster's long-term game is, because they've probably built the least amount of base so far.
Phoenix ran straight past, as not mined that 1.8 million stone. I think his mission is just to explore. Oh, here we go. Stu has the 408K mined up north. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so that's good. Moar Faster's on its way. And the first biter base we've seen, Steelaxe in the look northeast of their base. They're also the first one to find uranium up there too, but just south of their 1.3 million stone is our first biter base.
Yeah, that's the one advantage that they have getting all those radars down early, is that they can see any biter bases that they might be hitting with pollution.
Yep.
No one else has vision enough to see. Well, except for maybe Moar Faster, because they've been doing the exploration manually.
Right. You got to believe the radar is the way to go, because you want your players to be building and adding productivity rather than exploring. Automate your exploration too.
Interesting. Moar Faster is the only one who hasn't really tapped oil yet. There's D3 Phoenix up there, but he's got offshore pumps. Unless he's planning on putting the refineries right there.
Maybe. And they're still in the 40,000s with points. Oh, Team Steelaxe has crossed 2 million.
Yep. You notice the points have gone. The point rate has gone way up. They started producing plastic and solid fuel.
Yep. There you go. So they're consuming oil, which is big points, but bigger points is look, they're stockpiling lube. They're stockpiling heavy.
They'll have sulfuric acid very soon. I think they're researching it now because the chemical plants are not being set, and they just started a research. So I'd be saying they're researching acid.
There you go. But still, the red boards are lacking. They have not yet connected up the green science to red boards, and they've also not corrected up their copper line. I think they're waiting for those steel furnaces and stone. They need to run those bricks in.
They're just as you say that the green circuits just flow into the red circuits.
Oh, there they go. They just got connected. There you go.
Shrednation's doing some sort of military research. They've been consuming their packs.
There you go. Good job with Shrednation. They've got every single patch of iron mined in the every single bit of that big patch mined. Got some overlap in the ore down here in the south. I don't know if they want to set up. They want to. That's a mistake, or they want to actually set up a sorting build. That seems like a seems like a it seems like a tough build for something that's only got 2 hours left. All right, Inner Tooth slaving away, clearing that coal patch. You know he's cussing at it right now. You could hear him.
Supporters are building more smelting, but they're not doing much with what they've got.
Okay, this is really good. So what you don't want to see, on a big bus build is the bus stopped. This is really good. You kind of want to see in a game like this. You don't want to see full belts. That means they're being stored or they're being consumed and they're progressing. It would be a lot worse if you were to see belt stop. Like this steel build is stalled out. That means what they're not doing is they're not making additional steel, and they need to figure out what needs to consume steel and get that moving.
Oh yeah,
you don't want to have these
just
stopped.
As Jimmy John pointed out there. Moar Faster has added more steel, and I saw more was ghosted down, so they've got an even bigger steel build now.
Maybe they're going to be on the attack. I mean, that's more than end game steel. You don't need this much steel to launch a rocket. So you're right. I'm also curious as to what their plan is now. They do have stone coming down.
Shrednation appears to be just making flame turrets now.
Okay, so that's one I did see. I did talk to Shred this week, and he was very interested in flame turrets because they're points. I would not be surprised to see him set those up around the edge.
It's working for him. They're up in the point rates with anti.
Yeah. Yeah, for the newcomer, Shred's doing way better than my team would have. I would say they're doing great.
So, have you looking at Shrednation's mining right now? There's something interesting worth noting.
Yeah, go for it.
So you see how they have their mining lines, and they go into your 4x4 rebalances. And then you look at Steelaxe,
2 of them.
And they have, say, 5 to 7 miners connected up in pairs, usually like merged with the splitter, and then that just goes into a smelting line. So there's no ore rebalancing. They just set up some miners, feed it into a smelting line, and then do the next one.
Right.
So there's no time spent setting up balances and going through the motions of rotating belts and all that, because it can be quite time consuming.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I wonder if it's so either they just made the decision that they don't need any of that because all it takes to build. Yeah. Okay. So 2 things. One, their smelting lines are a lot shorter than everyone else's. Right? They're building these little squatty lines of 12 per side. You definitely don't need a ton of ore to go up those. And maybe only 10 of them are on it. 10 of them per side are on at any given time, which I think they're okay with.
So Steelaxe have now got stone brick smelting happening, which is the first step towards production science.
Yep, they've got it buffered. They've also got so they got the ability to make as many as now. Okay, there you go. Aceto is putting down all the steel furnaces that they've made. Looks like he's handcrafting those too. Because he's kind of
where he is now is meant to be a copper line. Oh, you can actually see there's a constant combinator with copper set on it to tell them what it is. So as soon as that copper line starts, and Bilka and Phoenix have actually done that now, that'll get their red circuits going. We should see another jump when that happens.
Right. Okay, Stu is putting down their stone furnace. K Nexus makes a good point. You can use filter inserters also. Good call.
That is a good point because I use that in mine when I remember
Mhm.
to. So,
Yeah, this is great. Look at the okay. So the point spread, Team Steelaxe has a pretty good lead, 2.7 million. But the surprise here is Shrednation is for their first foray into this build mode is at 2.3, doing very very well, even ahead of More Faster at 2.1 million.
oh, watch Steelax's
Um,
points. They red circuits are flowing.
oh, here it comes. Let me go up there. Red circuits will get them a million points. They will consume a bunch of plastic and green. So let's catch up a little bit. Yep, there they go. 86, 87. They're storing red circuits. Not all their assemblers are running at this moment.
I just need so everything's there, ready to go for blue science, except for the blue science assemblers themselves.
91K, so they're into 90, 92K. Look, you can see their points jump up as these assemblers turn on, and as the red circuits come off the belt, you can see that points per minute go up. They're going to be the first to break 3 million. Shred guys right on their heels. Oh, and looks like he's got a productivity line.
Yeah, so
That
he's ready
is
to pull out
eagerly.
the productivity modules. They are a huge boost. There we go, 97,000.
Yep, they're going to
98.
cross 100K per minute. Yep, 98. Here comes the Reds.
Bam, 100.
Bam, 100K a minute. There you go. There you go. Oh yeah, they will all be consumed, but probably the first thing that is going to consume them are these productivity modules. All they got to do is run power here, and they've got productivity modules. Productivity modules give you essentially free material for the cost of power. And in a game where you're doing a production build and you're earning points on producing things, you're getting free thing. That's stuff that you did not have to mine or drag out of the ground or smelt at all. You get free material and free points for it. So I bet that's what they're going to funnel it to first, and I think I'm right. Just storing up on the belt. The belt's not going to go anywhere. So yeah, they're going to do productivity modules. But here's the thing: is that they do have two power setups now. Look, one at the a double-sided power at the bottom, and a double-sided one here at the top with this coal going to. It's very smart what they do. I get by on just running a single belt of coal in between two sides of a furnace line. They run double-sided so that the coal does not run out. So they have a full line of coal dedicated for each side of the furnace line. That's a good one. I may have to put that into my repertoire. Okay, now the server for me is starting to get a little chunky as I zoom in and out. Right. Supporters doing okay. They have not made the big jump into oil, which is I think why. Oh no, they have. They have plastics off the line.
Yep.
Take it back.
Steelaxe has batteries going. So they're most of the way. Yeah, their first step into high-tech science is already running. It's kind of ridiculous to say.
Yeah. High tech, the yellow science. All right, let's go down and look at More Faster. Thank you for the follow, Durai. My frames, your frames. Oh, the time Stone Order. The time should run out first. Again, the ending conditions is 100 million points over this timer. No one is expecting them to hit 100 million. See, this is one of the power builds that I do. Is I just run a single line of coal in between two power sources, and I call that good. Steelaxe doubles that, which I think is safer and prevents their probably a little more insurance against brownouts for not a lot of cost.
Oh, I
Just
think
one extra row.
team supporters, their strategy has just been revealed. They're mass-producing chemical plants.
Oh. Okay. Oh, there it is. They are.
Oh, Steelaxe has dropped way down to 42.
Yep.
Something's been mining drills.
Oh,
Oh, and they're
producing mining
researching.
drills? Yeah. Okay, here comes Will and their massive steel line. They're putting down their 4th steel line. They're just going to pocket all the steel they can, I guess. At the moment, they have the high point rate at 95. Hard to fault them if the results are there.
Aha, the first of the productivity modules are flowing for Steelaxe.
Yeah,
and he's frantically placing medium power poles for their science as well.
If they don't hit a power gap, you're going to see them rocket into some crazy point totals because of these productivity modules. Those make a big difference. Even the level 1s, pair of them will give you an extra 10% at the cost of nothing.
They're low on oil too. They need oil desperately. Their pollution is about to hit the first biter base.
Just look.
They might be in trouble.
Oh, it is.
There's no oil in there, or there's a little bit of oil in their immediate vicinity, but not a lot.
There's looks like they're look, there's one chunk away from hitting that biter base. I wonder if they might get attacked. There's another biter base on the edge.
Moar Faster's just popped 104,000 per minute. I think that's the more steel. Although they're not mining enough to completely get it going. And they're boxing a phenomenal number of gears.
Yeah, there's reds. What are they going to do for more oil? Did they just they can tap down this 342% down here near the south, but otherwise they're pretty well locked in. I don't see a whole lot of oil that they've revealed.
Yeah, they've got some 300%ers. 173, and then up to near that biter base is a 298. Oh, hello, over to the west, 732%.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they may need to go. They need to go grab that. I would expect they would grab this the easy one first and just add that to their total. But they're not tanking any of it.
What is aha? So Shrednation has set up more smelting, and they're starting to pull coal and resource and ore from the outside of the map. When I say outside, it's just sort of half and half on the gate.
Yep. Oh, that's right. The risk with this, though, this is on the north side of their base. So if they get an attack, this is likely where it's going to come from. This is the side of their base that faces two of the other teams. I'd be much more comfortable if they needed to take some coal off of that bottom one rather than put something on that top side off that bottom patch instead of building more smelting up there, unless they were just out of area. They did have some open space down here. No trees. I had a little bit of trees to deal with. They had plenty of space.
Shrednation is also not buffering up military packs, which does cost them a little bit in point production. So a little bit that you could benefit from.
Yeah, look, Inner Tooth is coming down here. Looks like they're not buffering red and green science either, though. Doesn't really matter so much with that because they're consuming that a lot quicker.
Looks like they've produced about 200 flamethrower turrets already.
If we see those in play, this is going to get a lot crazier. If we see those in play, it's going to be great.